So this formula you need to have on your study sheet. However, I think that one is on your formula sheet. Let me just see here. I think they got rid of it. No, it's right there. It's right there, fuel economy. So it's the same formula, but it doesn't hurt, doesn't take up that much space. Okay, so fuel economy, right, is a term we talk about. And if you've ever looked at a brand new car, I don't know if they used to have cars in the mall. I haven't been in the mall since, I don't know, 3 years ago, maybe something like that. But they have this sticker on the window. And this is like a standard way of showing what the fuel economy is of a car. And in Canada, we stick with this one right here. Right? Canada's liters per 100 kilometers. What's the other one on the right? That's for our friendly neighbors down south. They go miles per gallon, right? They're still imperial system, right? So we don't use the imperial system. We stick with this, right? This is the one. And so this particular car uses 9 liters, right? 9 liters for every 100 kilometers the car drives. But that's not really accurate because it's hard to see. But you might need a magnifying glass, but can you see these two numbers here really small? It says highway and city. If you really look carefully, it says city and highway. Why would it be different, you think? Why is it not the same? It's not going to focus on that one. Oh, there we go. Why is it more in the city? Why do you use more liters in the city than on the highway? Exactly. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, right? The jackrabbit effect. That's why your car uses more fuel in the city. And on the highway, once you hit that speed, the 100 kilometers an hour, 80, and you stay there, your engine doesn't have to, just like when you run, if you would just jog at the same speed, you'd be able to go far distances, right? But if you have the beep test, you still do those? Yeah, right? You get really tired because you got to stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, right? It's kind of like the same idea. Right? And so, yeah, in the city you use more. So you know what car companies do? They do average. It's like, hey, it's in the city, it's 10.7. Highway, it's 7.5. So we're going to go average. However, most of us live in the city, right? So you're probably going to be looking at this fuel economy, not the 9, most likely, right? Okay, let's talk. We're going to do some math here before we go. Okay, so the answer is expressed in liters per 100 kilometers, also known as fuel consumption. It's the same thing, fuel economy, fuel consumption, they mean the same thing. The number of liters of gasoline a vehicle requires to travel 100 kilometers is known as the fuel economy, fuel consumption. Okay. So watch this. If you get 7.4 liters per 100 kilometers, it means exactly that, right? 7.4 liters for every 100 kilometers you travel. Fuel economy will depend on when you drive. Is it rush hour or can you like time the lights, right? I do that a lot. I time my lights. Like if I see that the next light is red already, like why would I speed up to the red light? And you all know someone that just buzzes by everybody, and then you meet them again on the second light, right? So kind of time it. You drive like a jackrabbit, right? Give and go, and so forth. Condition of the vehicle. If you have a car full of passengers, you're going to use more gas than if it's just you, right? Probably don't think about it, but that's just reality. Let's go to the back side here. I know I'm skipping a little bit, but I will clarify that again. Let's just do a few questions here. Page 66. A car is driven You're with me, right? You drive this many kilometers and you use this much gas, right? What is the fuel economy of the car? This is by far, like this is just plug in and go, plug in and go. So you use your formula. Fuel economy is liters over kilometers times 100. Okay, so fuel economy in this particular case, not a big deal. 26.78 liters over 280.2 kilometers. Times that by 100. Grab your calculator. 26.78 divided by 280.2. You get a really small number. You multiply that by 100 and you get your answer. That would be 9.5 what? 56. And watch this, liters for every 100 kilometers you drive. Okay, this is your fuel economy. So you can compare one car to the other, right? I do that quite often when I gas up, right? I always clear my trip. I have trip A, trip B, right? I always clear the kilometers. And then I kind of just do a little math there. Like I drove this many kilometers, I just gassed up 70 liters. How much should I get on average? Because you idle a lot. A lot of people don't consider the idling. When you warm up your car, it burns a lot of fuel, right? And so you actually have the true fuel economy, because the one they post is not necessarily true, right? It's a controlled environment. Watch this, guys. How much fuel would you need to drive 1,500 kilometers? You just figured out how many you need for 100 kilometers. Watch this. I'm going to actually, for some of you, this might be problematic, but I like you to think, hey, this is true. I'm just going to do this one, then we're going to quit for today, okay? Just follow me here. If this is true, I want you to write it as a fraction when you're working with it. If this car burns 9.56 liters for every 100 kilometers it drives, then where would I put the 1,500 on the right side? Bottom. If there's an equal sign ever, the units should line up. Okay? So this is 1,500 kilometers. So if you're making a trip to, let's say, Calgary, 1,500 kilometers? Maybe. I would have to look it up. But you're going to find out, hey, I need this many liters to get to that destination. You Google mapped it. It says 1,500 kilometers, right? Then you just do this. You remember that, right? Go to the side where the variable is. You cross, multiply, and divide. Let's finish this, and then we're good for today. It will take you 143.4 liters of fuel to make that trip. What are gas prices right now? It depends on where you go, right? But 152, 142 depends on where you are. You go to Costco, it's cheaper, right? I think it's 52.9. So it costs you $219 to make that trip. To be continued. Can I just say this, guys? As you're packing, I'm going to post the key to financing. There's a worksheet for financing. You're listening, right? Yeah. Page 33. It follows the financing lesson that we did today. I'm going to post the key to this. So if you need more practice, you go for it, okay? Thank you, guys.